Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back for another video on particle effects, and I actually made a lot of progress when it comes to the helix particle effect I was talking about in my previous video. Before, I would try to make my own X, Y, and Z coordinate offsets so that wherever I looked, based on my pitch and yaw, I could change or offset where the particle is being placed with relative to the projectile being shot. And I was just using intuition, like as pitch goes up or down, what happens to the angle and what needs to happen to the offset of X, Y, and Z. And that only got me so far. So I did more research and I found that this actually has to do a lot with linear algebra and rotation matrices. I don't want to go into depth in rotation matrices. I feel like I'll confuse a lot of people. I'll leave some links in the description below. I'll probably go more in depth about this in another video, but pretty much rotation matrices deal with vectors. And vectors, just think about them as a pointing arrow. If something has a direction and a magnitude, let's say an object moving, so the speed would be the magnitude, and it's moving in a 3D space, for example, the snowball. The vector, just imagine it as an arrow pointing in the direction of the snowball, and the length of the arrow represents how fast it's going. I think a better example is a bow. If I was like shooting it really slow like that, the arrow wouldn't be that long. If I shot it really fast, the arrow would be longer, which represents its speed pretty much. So using these vectors, um, we multiply the vector by the specific rotation matrix, and that will allow you to rotate the particle. Instead of using offsets, it'll let you rotate the particle around the snowball and place it where you want to place it, no matter where you're looking. And that's just a simple explanation. I don't want to go too in depth. Like I said before, it's gonna probably confuse a lot of people, but I'm just happy that it works now, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. So I highly recommend learning how to use this stuff. I'll just sample what I've done so far. So if you have some mobs and you just take your fist out and you shoot anything near the flame circle, whatever you want to call it, it just puts them on fire. And what it's really doing is I have a list of locations of the centers of each of these circles. And what I'm checking is if any mob is a certain distance away from the center of the circle. That's equivalent to saying if it's in the circle, which is what we want to check. We want to check if mobs are inside the beam, right? So we're just checking if this mob, I mean, that kind of was outside of the circle, but it's close enough, right? It's a pretty cool looking thing, so it doesn't really matter. What else? So what I fixed completely was this. This is what I had from the last video. No matter where I look, it's going to be a perfect helix. This is so cool, and it's really simple, but like it's cool to me because it took me so long. Um, yeah, I just like spamming this and just looking at it. It's like before what I did before was I made a particle line connecting only two particles. Right now there's three, but I made there only two that would spin around, and I had a line connecting them of particles, and it made it look like DNA. Maybe I can do that real quick. Let me open IntelliJ. IntelliJ. Okay, I think I did it. Let's check. Oh, okay, I did it, but the particle looks so whack. I mean, it actually looks fine. So this is pretty much what I had before. I just used a different particle to make it look better. Oops, that's the other thing I did. Pretty much, I'll just go into it now. Why not? When I crouch, it does this really cool like spinny effect and then it explodes. It doesn't really do anything now because there's no mobs around. Um, there's also a cooldown. But when there's mobs around, let's just spam a lot. Let's bring it over here. Okay, let's say I crouch. It'll find the nearest mob and start a chain reaction of just killing anything nearby. So let's say I had like zombies here, right? And I crouch. This is the closest zombie. It'll find this zombie. Before it kills it, it'll find the nearest zombie to it. Then it'll kill that one. Then it'll find the nearest ones to this. So then it'll find this one, kill that one. Then for this one, it'll find the nearby ones. It just keeps on going. It's like a chain reaction. If I do it right now, This guy's not really close to anyone, so it should just only kill him. Uh, Same with this guy. Yep. Um, yeah. There's just so many. There's infinite things you could do with these particle effects, and I'm definitely gonna do more in the future. What else did I do? I feel like I haven't really done anything other than DNA. Let me do it with a bow. It might look cooler. You can like see it more defined. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show my progress and tell you guys a bit about it, how I got to where I'm at. And I really want to make a video like explaining how exactly I did this, uh, because it's really helpful first of all, and second of all, when I was trying to do this myself, there were some good resources, but it didn't get me to where I'm at now. I had to just mess around and spend time with it and to fix it. So I'll do a video showing exactly how I'm using the rotation matrices and the code I'm using to get the results I have now. For now, that's it. I don't really have anything else. Just these